So this is my week 9 submission and it is on the create phase. So how I go about solving the problem. So the first thing that I looked at was design fixation, so getting stuck on the first idea. So this is something that I definitely struggled with throughout my school and career, and it's also something that I noticed when out in placement that my students actually struggle with as well. So if I give them a small problem or a small design test, that they come up with one solution and that would be good enough. So there'd be no further development or adding on to it. And that's something that I definitely found when I was in school as well. So with the junior cert and leaving cert projects, that I would have come up with an idea and I wouldn't have added on to it. So if it wasn't for my teachers, I would have stuck with the idea and just gone with it, whereas they kind of pushed me to just develop and improve it. So without that kind of push, I suppose I wouldn't have got as much out of the learning experience that I could have. And I suppose the main thing just to take from it is that your first idea is not always the right solution. There's always room for improvement and areas for development. So then just looking at my developed ideas, this is one of the initial sketches that I showed my partner for peer feedback. We used the 10 principles of good design from Dieter Rams, and just looking at the scores there, I suppose they were all kind of high. So what I really wanted from this was just kind of honest critical feedback, and I suppose it was just the fact of afraid of hurting their feelings. I suppose I probably did the same thing with his feedback, but yeah. So what I was looking for was just kind of honest critical feedback, and it just would have been more beneficial. Although I still got a few ideas out of it, it would just be nice to get honest opinion on everything and kind of take the emotion out of it. So this is just how I adjusted it directly after completing the peer feedback session based on the feedback that I got. Then started to go through some potential processes. So how would I join the base to the, or how would I join the threaded bar to the rotating slot? So I just looked at a couple of different things there and then looked at the creative craft. So I was hoping to include CNC for the creative craft. So just to gain more knowledge in it, and there's loads of areas where the CNC could be used in my solution. So then just looking at the options that I had for material, I had an upcycled threaded bar, 6 panel pine door, MDF door off a cabinet that I kind of scratched right away because it's just the carcinogenic and it wasn't the most attractive piece of wood that I'd ever sourced. Galvanized steel that came from a workbench that was used on my grandfather's farm, perspex that was on the farm as well, and also old fabrics, just t-shirts, cloths, old towels that I have at home that could also be used. So then I was just going through how I would actually go on making it, so looking at the processes, so like attaching the threaded bar to the base, the different types of bases that I could have used, the rotating slot, so how to make it. So this is where I was hoping to bring in the CNC, how I would attach it, and finally the just how would I finish off the top of the threaded bar just to make it look appealing and actually finish off the project. So then going through the sizes of the material, so I definitely had enough material anyway, especially timber from the door, so I got a lot out of it. So what I did then was just went through the different sizes of the different aspects of the project. So the base pieces, the threaded bar, the slots, the steel plate that I'd use, and finally then I just looked at the joint. And I've completed the project now and I have stuck. So I gave sizes there as well, and I'm pretty sure that I've stuck to all them sizes. So then just looking at my thought process, so taking the base as an example. So first going through kind of divergent thinking, so creating choices. So I had the jigsaw base or the base with slots. Then you're kind of going back to convergent thinking, which is making decisions on the choices that you've made. So I kind of went with the jigsaw base. But my overall solution then was a mix of the two. So it was to use the jigsaw based design and incorporate slots on the different pieces for holding material or equipment or whatever would be on the desk. So that's just how I evolved my ideas using critical reflection and the use of convergent and divergent thinking. So then my experimentation phase, just testing the rotating slots. So what I did was constructed the slots, attached it to the threaded bar, and just tested the weight, just a few things that were on the desk, so pencil case, iPod, iPhone, and then I actually tested it with weights. So I put on 2.5 kg. I didn't want to put on any more just in case it did break it, but I put on 2.5 kg and it definitely would have been able for a lot more. So you're not really going to find anything heavier than that you would be putting on the slots. So I thought the 2.5 was a sufficient weight to put on it, and it definitely tested it to be sturdy and safe for use. So that just kind of proves that the use of the nut and the threaded bar was a good way of forming the rotating slots. Then onto the realization. So again, what we're doing is the high fidelity model. So I'm going to try and make it as best as possible with the equipment that I have, just to get the most out of the learning experience. And also, I feel like it's kind of the best way just to learn about the problems that I would encounter, how I went about solving them. And I'll do a SolidWorks model as well, but I don't think you'd really get that out of just doing a SolidWorks model alone. So I'll try and do as much of the project as I can anyway, and I will look at it then from a problem, how I solve how I the problems that I encountered and how I solved them. So I just think that that's the most beneficial way of going about it. And you can just see the two problems that I have identified here. So it was how I would attach the threaded bar to the steel plate. So just tack welded it on. So this was the steel plate before it was welded. Just put the threaded bar through, welded it in. It was just a simple tack weld, tied it up with the grinder, and on the base piece then took out a slot and pillar drilled the hole through the middle so that the threaded bar went through the hole, and the slot, or the steel plate, fitted into the slot. Then the second problem that I've already gone through on the experimentation phase is how would I attach the rotating slots to the threaded bar. So again, just use the threaded bar and the nut, and it fitted on. Okay, rotated around, and it was sturdy then, as I had experimented with, and as I've shown in the experimentation phase. So today, that is everything that I have for the create phase. So I'll keep developing my ideas, I'll keep experimenting with them, and just as I go, I will track how I've gone about the making of my solution.